Welcome to All Things Aussie Football, covering everything from the AFL to the AFLW. My name is Ashley, and tonight we will be reviewing round one of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season, and we'll also look into the AFLW final series, which starts off with North Melbourne and Fremantle at Arden Street. Getting started tonight, we will be looking at round one, game number one, grand final rematch, the biggest match anyone was waiting for. The Western Bulldogs and the Melbourne Football Club. Being played at the MCG, unveiling the Premiership banner for the Melbourne Demons was absolutely amazing. Wasn't there in person, but watching it on the TV, it sent chills down my spine. Great game all round through, very topsy-turvy, couldn't go past it. Brilliant game to start off the season. Melbourne came away with a 14-13-97 to an 11-5-71 victory over the Western Bulldogs to show why they were the premiers last year. Can't go past the player of the game, I reckon, for the D's, Christian Petrarca. Absolute domination around the field. It goes to show you why he won the Norm Smith medal last year in the grand final at Optus Stadium in Perth. 38 disposals, 2 goals won, 142 Dream Team points, absolutely brilliant. Jack McRae was the pick for the Bulldogs, 39 disposals, didn't kick anything on the board, but he helped his team get there. Good way to open up the season. The negative in that, crowd numbers, understandable. Wednesday night, everyone's working, kids have got school, but it was a grand final rematch. Fan numbers could have been different had it been played on a weekend. All round, brilliant game to open up the season. Can't complain about it. Second game we're going to look at is the Carlton Football Club, the Richmond Tigers MCG. Very tough game there. Early stages. It was very up and down. Richmond were getting away, Carlton coming back, and then Carlton would get away, they'd come back. Tigers would get away again, but Carlton come back. It was very up and down. Carlton ultimately came away with a shocking victory, 14-17-101, to Richmond's 11-10-76, ending 25-point margin. What can I say? It was a shock. Carlton came out firing. No one expected them. I personally tipped Richmond, thinking that they might win, but obviously not. Players for me for this game, obviously Patrick Cripps, can't go past him. 30 disposals, 3 goals straight. 112 fantasy points, can't complain at that. Brilliant all-round game by him. Adam Sard as well from Carlton, 21 disposals, 101 Dream Team points. Just phenomenal. Jaden Short, Dusty Martin, both from Richmond, stand out. 42 disposals between the two of them. Dusty kicking goal. Unfortunately couldn't help him across the line in this one, but as always next week. The third game we look at is my team, Friday Night Football, under the lights of Marvel Stadium, St Kilda versus Collingwood. Unfortunately, the Saints were just too weak in this one. Didn't have enough firepower. Collingwood ended up coming away with it, very luckily, but can't do anything now to change the result. St Kilda taking the L, 12-13-85 to Collingwood's 15-12-102. 17-point win by Collingwood. It's very dismal for me. I'm still hurt by it. Should have had that, but not much you can do about it. Lipinski from Collingwood, 30 disposals and a goal. Great game from him. Jack Steele, the skipper of St Kilda, 28 disposals. Didn't get on the scoreboard, but definitely was the backbone for the Saints. And that's why he's the skipper. He knows what he's doing. The Dacos brothers, done really well together. Can't wait to see what the future holds for them. Especially young Nick Dacos. Brilliant. I couldn't complain at that. 27 disposals, didn't get on the score sheet, but just brilliant player. Teaming up with his brother at Collingwood, they're going to be scary. A couple of years' time, they'll be scary. Mark them down, good and win the premiership soon. Next game we're going to look at is the first game of Saturday afternoon football. I'm sorry, Essendon supporters, unfortunately, you guys did get absolutely slaughtered in this game. Very dismal. I honestly did not know how Geelong were going to play. A lot of age, a lot of experience, a lot of veterans in their side. But Geelong were just way too strong down there at Skilled Stadium, or GMHBA Stadium as it's now known as. Geelong running out 2018, 138, 11-6, 76 wins over the Bombers. I don't know if there's anything I can say about it. It was just an absolute domination by Geelong. Zach Merritt and Darcy Parish, 39 disposals to Merritt, 34 to Parish, try to keep him in the game. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it. Parfitt, Dangerfield, Selwood, all played well. Dangerfield, 1 goal, 2. We know he can do a little bit better than that, but that's still great to see. Biggest standout for me from Essendon was the debutant Nick Martin. Massive future ahead of him, looking bright. Anything is possible for him. 5 goals on debut, 27 disposals, and against Geelong at GMHBA Stadium. Can't go past him. He's going to have to be my pick for Essendon, along with Darcy Parish and Zach Merritt as well. The next game we're going to look at tonight is the GWS Giants and the Sydney Swans. The Sydney Derby. Biggest anticipation match for the whole of New South Wales, if I have to say so. Giants home game, unfortunately couldn't get a win in front of their home fans, even though it was played at Stadium Australia. Giants end up getting the L against Sydney with 13-14, 92, 17-10, 112. Sydney proving too strong on that one. Biggest shock for me was Buddy Franklin. Unfortunately, he didn't get his 1,000th goal. He's still getting there. He's 4 away. But 8 disposals for an absolute beast of a player, the GOAT, greatest of all time. 8 disposals, just it wasn't enough for him to be able to get that magnificent 1,000 goal milestone. But his team did back it up in providing the win for it. Tom Green, Tim Durano, both standouts for GWS, same as Josh Kelly. Isaac Heaney was the biggest standout for me for Sydney with 3 goals, 25 disposals. But, as I said, Buddy Franklin, close to the 1,000. Can he get it next week at home at the SCG against Geelong? We'll find out. Next game, up at the beautiful Gabba, the Brisbane Lions and the Port Adelaide Power. Now, this one, bit of controversy in it, with a suspension being handed down to Mitch Robinson for a high bump, rough conduct. Lions ultimately came over with the win though, 11-14, 80, 10-9, 69. Unfortunately, there was one incident where a player did have to be carried off on the stretcher, but let's just hope for a speedy recovery for him and hope to see him back out there shortly, or very, very soon. Houston and Boak with 36 disposals and 32 disposals respectively. They both got on the scoreboard, Boak with 1 goal, Houston with 2 goals too. Lachie Neale was a big standout for Brisbane, 31 disposals, great game from him. But again, Lions were just too strong. It was very topsy-turvy, very up and down, low scoring game, which is what I like to see. Kept me on the edge of my seat, I enjoyed it. But ultimately Brisbane coming away with a massive and well-rounded win for round 1. Sunday footy, the last day of round 1. Few good games in there, a few tough games to pick for my tipping that week. Hawthorn North Melbourne at the MCG. First game for their new coach in Sam Mitchell, but coming away with a win against North Melbourne. It was anyone's game. Hawthorn came away with 11-12, 78 to an 8-10, 58 win. Dominated by Tom Mitchell, 29 disposals. Yes, he kicked behind, but he kept him in there. Aaron Hall from North Melbourne was a standout, 31 disposals from the back line. Just brilliant, 125 Dream Team points. You had him as your captain, he doubles it. So, 250 in there. Got to give a massive shout out to Jason Horn-Francis. Kicked his first ever goal. What a way to do it on the MCG turf. Had 13 disposals, 1 goal, 1. It's only up from there, mate. Congratulations on your first goal. Big future ahead of you. Everyone watch out. He's going to be a force and he's going to help North Melbourne. Next game we have, to me, game of the week. I'm a St Kilda supporter, but this one has to be game of the week for me. Adelaide Fremantle, Adelaide Oval. Fremantle were looking to be out of it, especially late in that fourth quarter. Ultimately came back and held on by 1 point. Fremantle coming away with an 11-17-83 to 12-10-82 victory over Adelaide, in front of a packed Adelaide fan base there. Couldn't ask for a better start for Fremantle. I'll give them credit for it. Brad Keys and Matt Crouch, 67 disposals between them. The two standouts for Adelaide. Brayshaw, 28 disposals. Mundy, 23 disposals. Fremantle were without their captain Nat Fyfe, unfortunately, but let's hope to see him back soon. It's a speedy recovery for Nat Fyfe. They get him back, they get the full squad back. Full health squad, they might be dangerous this year, so keep an eye out for them. Last game of the round. The Battle of the Coasts. West Coast, Gold Coast, Optus Stadium, Perth. Under lights. Everyone was looking forward to it. Obviously COVID's a big impact here in Western Australia. Not much for this game. There was a couple of debutants for the Eagles, but ultimately they got their wings clipped. Gold Coast running away with a 16-11, 107 to a 12-8, 80 victory in front of the Eagles faithful. Can't do much about it. There's always next week for the Eagles. Stand out for them: Andrew Gaff, Jack Redden, Shannon Hearn. A lot of them could have picked up, but mainly those three done it well for me. Gaff with 32 disposals, Redden with 28 and Hearn with 24. None of them got on the scoreboard, but it doesn't matter. It was those guys that stood out for me. Patrick Kelly as well had 2 goals too with 12 disposals. Kelly had 2 goals, and Jermaine Jones, 2 goals for him at Optus Stadium. It was just absolutely amazing to see him out there running around. I can't wait to see what he has in the future for the West Coast Eagles. Isaac Rankin kicked away for the Suns to give them the win, kicking 4 goals, 1 off 23 disposals down the forward line. And that goes to show, with the help of Matt Royale, who set him up to get those, there might be a force come later in the season. Unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be a fluke win. I still have them sitting lower down on my ladder predictions. So that rounds out basically round 1 for the AFL season. Few mixed up and down results in that. There's not much we can do about it, but we just never know from there. So going on and looking at the ladder from round 1, we've got Geelong, Melbourne, Hawthorn, Gold Coast sitting atop 4. Biggest shock there for me is the Gold Coast Suns sitting at number 4 at the moment. Never seen them that high. How long they're going to keep it there, we just don't know. Carlton, Sydney, Collingwood, Brisbane, all rounding out at 8. Carlton being up there as well. I don't think I'd seen them in the top 8 for a while, but I mean, they're high in the 8. Can they stay up there? Can they go any higher? Can they play in finals this year? I believe so. Collingwood last year finishing 17th and already into the top 8, starting in 7th. It was a great win by them against the Saints. But how much is it going to impact them this year? What are the ins and outs going to be like? How's COVID going to play a factor? That we will find out as the season goes on. Basically, a bottom 10 is consisting of Fremantle, Adelaide, Port Adelaide, St Kilda in 12th. That to me seems reasonable. I would like to see my team a little bit higher, but it's round 1, still a long way to go. Giants, the Tigers, the Eagles, I feel like they all should be a little bit higher. They're not exceeding expectations this year at all. I feel like they can step their game up to another level, which hopefully we see in round 2. The bottom three, North Melbourne, the Bulldogs, Essendon. Like I said, it's round one. The Bulldogs being down there from the grand final, I didn't expect them to be any higher. Being that they can't have a win. They could have drawn, but they just died down. Melbourne were too strong, and it goes to show why Melbourne are the premiers. And I believe Melbourne could probably look at going back to back. I don't have them winning it, but they go to show why they can. Essendon at the bottom, well, I can understand why. It was a dismal display by them against Geelong. There's not much else you can say about it. But basically looking into round two has some great matchups in it. Round two we'll see Bulldogs versus Carlton. That'll be a good game. Sydney and Geelong. Can Buddy Franklin kick his 1,000th goal? If Buddy Franklin kicks his 1,000th goal, congratulations, but let's just wait and see first. That's on Friday night. Saturday, we have got Collingwood and Adelaide being played at the G for Collingwood. It's Collingwood home game, whilst it will be played at the G. Essendon and Brisbane at Marvel. Port Adelaide Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval. Reckon it could be a really close game, really good game there. It depends on how Port Adelaide go, being back at home. They seem to play well at home, but we'll find out from there. Melbourne Gold Coast home game at Metricon. I reckon Melbourne's going to have that one easy. Gold Coast, they've shown that they've got the strength. They beat the West Coast Eagles in round one. But can they do it against the reigning premiers at home in front of their fans? I don't think so. I don't think they've got the power for it, but we'll find out. Kickstarting Sunday football in the morning. North Melbourne and West Coast at Marvel Stadium. Again, depends on what happens. We've got COVID situations here in Perth. There's going to be players in and out of the side. Not much you can do about that, but oh well. North Melbourne, on the other hand, they played pretty strong round one. They were in the game the whole way through, but who knows what could happen there. Tough choice with that one. MCG, Richmond, GWS Giants, 2019 Grand Final. We all know what happened there. GWS got slaughtered. But be interesting to see what happens with that game. Richmond looks strong in round one. Can it go on to round two, or will they just stay faded away, and can the Giants pick up a much needed win? And the last game on the Sunday afternoon football, we play at Optus Stadium. Fremantle, St Kilda. My team, we don't know how we're going to go. We've got skills, we've got age, we've got experience, but we do have a lot of outs that are currently playing with our Sandringham side in the VFL. We've got to wait and see who comes up, see who makes their debut, see who makes the starting 22, and we just find out from there. But a few good games in that lot. I can't wait for round two to start. Going into the AFLW final series. As I was saying earlier, it is going to be kick-started. The qualifying finals, North Melbourne and Fremantle at Arden Street, Brisbane and Collingwood at the Gabba. North Melbourne finishing 4th, Fremantle finishing 5th, Brisbane finishing 3rd, Collingwood finishing 6th. Going to be a few tough matchups in that, but we'll see how that goes for it. Unfortunately, I've just received word that the Brisbane-Collingwood game has been postponed due to a COVID outbreak in the Collingwood camp. So that will be moved to a later date, and we will give you guys results of that one when it comes through. As for North Melbourne, Fremantle at Arden Street, very close games I reckon. North Melbourne home ground, but Fremantle I think are just going to prove too strong, and they'll go through to a preliminary final against Adelaide. Again, I reckon it's going to be a close game. I'm only going to be looking probably 13, 14 points. Brisbane Collingwood, obviously the game's been postponed. It will still be played at the Gabba. We don't know when yet. But my prediction for that one is I'm going to go Brisbane by about 8. They're going to be strong, but I guess it all comes down to how it goes, what the situation is with COVID, and how it all plays out with that one. Melbourne Adelaide finishing 1 and 2, both get the week off, straight into the preliminary final. So Adelaide will play the winner of Fremantle and North Melbourne. at Adelaide Oval, while we get our first ever AFLW game at the MCG. The Melbourne Demons will be playing the preliminary final against the winner of Brisbane and Collingwood, who will do battle eventually. We're still waiting for times to be finalised on when that game will be played, but I'll come to you guys in hopefully our next video. Other than that, guys, not much else to report back for round 1 for the AFL season and the final series for the AFLW. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and hit the like. If you didn't like it, still hit the like. And we'll see you guys in our second episode coming out later this week. Thank you.